We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
How you can imagine.
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome back to another Toys from the Past. So on today's Toys from the Past, we will not only be doing requested toy lines, but I will be doing one that I have chosen myself as well for 3 total toy lines. But first, we are going to get started with the requested lines. So as requested by Shadow Man, we will be talking about Zeroids. Now, produced by Ideal Toys in 1968, Zeroids were a set of toy robots that were powered. They had tiny, small, removable electric motors that made the robots move either forward or backwards. And there was a bottom-mounted reversing switch that would allow the robot to reverse when it touched a special plastic plate or turn the robot off when it backed up in its display case. The motors used from the toys actually came from a previous line by Ideal that was not really selling very well anymore, and that was their motorific trucks. And what was to be known as the robot's control station was actually the box that they were sold in, which unfolded into a ramp so the Zeroid could roll out onto the surface. When these were first released, they originally cost under $5. They were battery powered and they ran on tank treads. And originally there was only a trio: Zobor, the Bronze Transporter, Zintar, the Silver Explorer, and Zarek, the Blue Destroyer. And they all came packaged in a clear plastic box with a yellow reversing ramp. Zobor had a Cosmobile, Zintar a lunar sled, and Zarek a control station, each of which formed the back of the plastic box. There was also Zemo, a rare Zeroid made of various parts from the others, and later came Zog, the Zeroid commander who could activate various devices and came with a PlayStation. And in the mid-1970s, following the unexpected worldwide success of Star Wars, Ideal immediately repurposed once popular Zeroids and one of their vehicles, the Starhawk, as part of a new line called the Star Team. So, as I was compiling the research for this part of the video, I actually came across what some of the Star Team figures from the Zeroid line look like, and to my surprise, I didn't really realize it at the time, but I had a few of these figures. I had this little robot right here, and I also had the very Vader-esque looking Knight of Darkness from the Star Team as well. Now, I had forgotten over the years, because the original boxes, of course, from when I was a small child, were lost. I had no clue exactly where these toys came from and exactly what they were, but I do remember what they look like, and you know, they may still be over at my father's house, buried along with some of the other toys from my childhood. But I did have a few, and because of Shadow Man bringing this topic up, I wound up rediscovering exactly what they were from. And as recently as 2013, the Zeroid universe has also been revisited in comic book form, keeping the robot legacy alive well into the 21st century. Thank you, Shadow Man, for your suggestion. And now on to the second requested toy line. The second one comes by way of Sith Lord. Sith Lord wanted to hear about Sectaurs. Now, the Sector action figures were initially released by Coleco in 1985. Now, even though there is a stamp mark on these that say 1984, that is not the year that they were released. And they were released under the title Sectaurs, warriors of Symbion. The Sectaur action figures themselves often came packaged with a rideable insect companion. These figures were highly detailed, and the accessories that came with them were also incredibly detailed, as well as some of the rideable insects having fall fur to add to their details. Now, in comparison, these figures were extremely large as compared to a lot of the other toys which were on the shelves at the time, including He-Man, G.I. Joe, and so many other franchises that all came out at the same time. One of the biggest drawbacks to this series was the fact that not only were they incredibly large and took up a lot of shelf space in the toy stores, but they were also basically twice the price of even a He-Man and the Master of the Universe figure, and 2.5 times that of a G.I. Joe figure. And I believe it was mostly this extraordinary price as compared to the other toys that were extremely popular at the time that led to the downfall and the subsequent canceling of the Sectaurs before Wave 2 was even released. The overall design and concept behind these figures, while extremely well done, was just not enough to save it from the exorbitant cost as compared to all the other toys that were already on the shelves. Perhaps if this line had come out in a different year, it may have found some more success and may have had a little bit more staying power, but that is something we will just never know. It is also to be noted that much like all the other franchises from the 80s, they had not only a comic book, but they also had a cartoon, as well as other tie-in merchandise, such as a power cycle. And as always, I would like to thank Sith Lord for his suggestion. And for the final toy line of today's video, we will be talking about Battle Beasts. These were small, 3-inch tall, half animal, half robotic figures with a heat-sensitive rub sign that was on them to designate one of 3 elements that they were associated with. The elements were wood, water, and fire. And the way it worked is pretty much like rock, paper, scissors. So, fire beats wood, water beats fire, and of course, wood beats water. Now, the interesting thing to be noted from this series is it was actually a spin-off from the Transformers and was created by Takara of Japan in the mid-1980s. Now, in 1987, it was brought to America by Hasbro, and 4 series were released. The first 3 contained Beasts 1 through 76. Now, each figure came with the heat-sensitive rub sign on their chest and a melee weapon, as well as the figures being released in a 2-pack in America. They were originally released in Japan in small boxes and larger multi-packs. They also had released some other items to go along with the figures. They had 3 pullback vehicles and 3 transforming bases that were also released. Now, the 4th series was called Laser or Shadow Beasts. Now, during this line, the heat-sensitive sticker was replaced by a orb that you can see into that would depict which clan the beast belonged to. Now, the new laser beasts carried guns that actually resembled the creature who held them. The entire new series of 36 laser beasts and new vehicles were mainly released in Japan. A smaller amount were released in Europe, along with a few unique sleds, and North America only received 10 of the new lasers packaged in Shadow Beast packaging. I remember this series mostly because this is something that my younger brother actually had quite a few of. Unfortunately, because all 3 of these lines are a little bit more nondescript and not mainstream, it is actually a little bit harder to find some good information on them. Hence why this video is so much shorter than a lot of my other Toys from the Past videos are. Anyway, thank you again to Shadow Man and Sith Lord for their suggestions. Anyway, guys, do you remember these toy lines? Did you have any of these toys? Did you care at all? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, as always, if you enjoyed what you've seen and what you heard, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself and that you will consider subscribing if you did. And remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should and shouldn't like, because your silence gives consent. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.